Well, it's story time again, and this is a little story about getting an education, and I call it Lookout Valley Junior High, Spellin and Paddlin. Mr. Hamrick was my English teacher throughout my 3 years of junior high school. About the best thing I could say for him is he dressed nicely. He was very high-strung and would instantly flush when upset. He was not a terrible teacher, but he was obsessed with spelling and diagramming sentences, two things that I detest to this day. He had a policy that you could miss spelling 2 words on his test with just a loss of points. But if you missed 3 or more words, then he would paddle you. 3 licks for each word missed. We had a spelling test every Friday, and I and another student, Troy Wright, would find ourselves out in the hall every week. Troy and I were about the same size, wiry little guys, tough as nails. I don't know how many times Troy got paddled over the years, but by the time I finished 8th grade, I lost count at 139. We were good friends, and it became a point of honor to never let on that a paddling hurt us. One Friday, Hamrick dragged us out into the hall, and Troy and I had missed 3 or 4 words, and Hamrick had his red cedar paddle the woodshop boys had made for him. It was about 16 inches long and 3.5 inches wide and 1/2 an inch thick. A stout little instrument of punishment. He gave me 3 licks and then gave Troy 3 and repeated the process until each of us had had a total of 9. He said, "I guess that'll remind you to study your spelling." He had paddled me many times, and I do not know what possessed me this time, but I looked at Troy, who looked at me, and I turned and I raised my eyebrows and silently grinned. I think I was destined to raise the blood pressure of my teachers. Hamrick immediately flushed red and bit his lower lip. He resumed alternately paddling Troy and me. After 4 or 5 more licks each, he asked, "Is that enough?" I was not grinning, but I just turned and silently looked at him. He flushed even redder and began beating on us again. After a while, he was swearing, still red-faced and worn out, and sweat pouring off his brow, and he grabbed his elbow and gave up, telling us to go back to class. Neither Troy nor I ever gave him the slightest satisfaction. I was black and blue, but it was worth it. He never again tried to paddle Troy or me. Thank you.